You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
What's up, mob? Hey, how about that World Supercross last night? That was awesome. I was up till 3 in the morning, Pacific time here in Las Vegas, watching the races, and I absolutely loved it. But before I get into it, I do want to point out a few guys that kind of got ripped off on publicity. This happens sometimes when the championships are on the line. Everybody focuses on the titles, and they miss some really amazing rides. Greg Aranda, in that second main event, battled up front and finished second. Colt Nichols straight up won the third main event. Good on Colt Nichols. He needed that so bad. I mean, that was something where, I mean, his career has been so down for so long, and to have that right before the season when he rides factory beta here in the United States, and I expect some good things out of those guys. That bike's good. I really do like that beta. But good on Colt Nichols. Cole Thompson, the Canadian guy, getting up there, battling, getting second overall in the 250 class. And Mitchell Oldenburg, if you guys didn't see, in the heat race, he straight up beat Ken Roczen. Yes, I know it's only a heat race. It's 6 laps. It doesn't matter. But Roczen passed him, and Mitchell passed him back. We've seen glimpses of the talent that Mitchell Oldenburg has, but we've never seen it like this before. For whatever reason, that 450 suits him, and the confidence he got from that heat race took him all the way through to the main event. Second overall on the night. Good on Mitchell Oldenburg. And yes, he got ripped off on the podium. They had some podium things that were, listen, I love World Supercross, and this series has been through the ringer, and for it to come off as well as it did in front of 30,000 fans in that stadium, props. My hat's off to Adam Bailey, the entire crew, but I do have to point out something they got to fix. Podiums. When you had Cole Thompson up there in the 250 class, and you announced McElrath, and then poor Cole's just up there hanging, wait, what am I doing here? Like, I thought you put me on the podium for second, yet now you're going to remove me for the championship. It was awkward. Everybody felt bad. You see McElrath, like, feeling bad. You know, nobody went up there. They made McElrath remove Cole from the podium, and it was uncomfortable. And Cole didn't get a spray champagne. They did a similar thing where they didn't bring up the guys from the race. Poor Mitchell Oldenburg has the race of his career and doesn't get to spray champagne. But hey, check this out. His boy Vince Friese, I know you guys despise Vince Friese, a lot of you, but he's actually a really good guy off the track. This guy is so kind. He went and bought Mitchell a bottle of champagne and let him pop it. It was pretty funny. Here's the video.
Thanks, Vince.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats.
So you can say what you want about Vince Friese on the track and whatever, if you do like his riding, you don't like his riding. But this season, he set the bar with interviews, owning his riding, and just being who he is. On the track, he's kind of a dick. Off the track, he's awesome. But he's great for the sport, and he is very, very entertaining. If you tell me he's not entertaining, you're not paying attention, or you're just lying, because it's the truth. He's absolutely entertaining. But before we get into that, guys, check out Ride Strapped. And they made this awesome shirt for me, this amateur motocross with the guy in the lawn chair kind of poking fun at the AMA. Love it. It's good stuff. Chris at Strapped, just like me, always likes to poke fun at the AMA whenever we can, because let's be honest, they are a bunch of knuckleheads. So check that out. $19.99 the shirt, goggles, you name it. Head over to Strapped at ridestrapped.com. And then if you're going to ship anything, use Precision Transport. Guys, Precision Transport is a trucking company that is inexpensive. From what I was told by Club MX when they used them, half the price of FedEx. And they have customer support that follow through on the things they say they're going to do. So use Precision Transport. All right, guys, let's get into the 250s. So Max Anstey just rode out of his mind. This guy, from being a GP guy that we typically don't see them riding Supercross, to become a Supercross specialist. I know he grew up here and did some Supercross before he went to the GPs, but still, to make this transformation that late in his career, that's nothing short of amazing. And to go back to the 250 and ride that way, good on Max Anstey. And guess what, Max Anstey, you are a world champion. You know, some people say, oh, blah, 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 it's a series, blah, blah. No, period. He's an FIM world champion, the 250 class. Good on Max Anstey. Shane McElrath knew he was kind of behind it heading into it, and I love Shane McElrath. He's one of the classiest guys out there. And with all due respect, I'm about to make fun of him, but he says, the race is, I'm going to go out there and do my best. The race is in God's hands. Well, apparently God didn't want you to win, Shane. He put that, the tough block right in your wheel and locked it up, and that pretty much ended it for you. So, but anyway, Shane was classy as always, but I just get a kick out of, it's in God's hands. Listen, it's racing. If there is a God, I doubt that he's really worried about who's going to win each official race. I would imagine there's bigger things in the world to worry about, but that's just me. But I'm going to get off the religion topic. I love McElrath. I respect him and his religion and his strong faith, but I found that kind of funny. With that said, World Supercross needs to get the tough blocks they use at the Paris Supercross, those ones that are arched, those cardboard boxes in the covers. Come on, man, we're at the highest level. You're doing so many things right. You're on the edge of just being really, really good. Just get those. I think Feld needs to get those. I think World Supercross. I think every track that does Supercross should get those. I think they're the best option. They're curved. They don't tie up in people's wheels. And then if you got the whoop section, you get those really long tough blocks that, that work as padding, but yet they're also not going to just get kicked out onto the track. So that's something the guys definitely need to work on for safety. The Australian guy, Luke Clout. Luke Clout I watched him the night before at the Australian Supercross Championship where he won and teared up. And to know what he went through with injuries to come back to where he was, good on Luke Clout, man. That's a good story, and I was glad to see him get up there and get some good finishes and get back to that level. For a few years ago, he was a guy that we were thinking he was going to come over to America and make some noise. But then some injuries and stuff set him back. But now it's nice to see him back to that level and just, man, I don't think people understand the difficulty and the depths of depression that guys go to when you go from the highest levels to just iced up and not being able to compete the way you're supposed to. It gets dark, but it's nice to see him come back from that. Before we get into the 450s, guys, check out Epic Garage Designs. Epic Garage they'll make your garage look like a Barrett Jackson garage. They're absolutely awesome. So hit them up. You can get tile floors, $5.50 a square foot, slat wall, racks, whatever. EpicGarageDesigns.com. And then, guys, Energy Fuel, the best energy drink that I've ever used. And I use it for working out. I use it for hangovers. Coach doesn't sign off on that, but it works. If you're dehydrated, you drink some Energy Fuel, you feel way better. So, yeah, I use Energy Fuel. Get it at thecoachrobstore.com. And he'll have you feeling really good. So the 450 class delivered with some excitement. And of course, most of that excitement was due to Vince Friese. It was so awesome in the heat race. Dylan Willis blasts Friese to take the lead. Dylan Willis is a wild card. We don't expect much for him. Apparently, he gave no respect to Vince Friese and just stuffed him. Well, yeah, you don't do that to Vince Friese without a little bit of payback, and it was almost instant, and Friese just put him down. And then, Friese also went Friese in the second main by cleaning Savacci right off the start. I mean, he just put him down, essentially ending any chance that Savacci had at a title. And it was weird. I don't know if the contact caused it or karma caused it, but he got a flat right after that. Vince looked like he was going to win that second main event, and it didn't happen, the flat tire. I don't know if it's the dirt at the Marvel Stadium, because last year Ken Roxon got a flat at that same stadium. I don't know if that metal ramp, when I raced Supermoto and they had the metal ramps, sometimes the screws would pop out of those metal ramps and get into your tires. Yeah, believe it or not, that actually happens. And, it's something, I don't know what it was or why. But yeah, that was disappointing. But Vince rode good, but he just didn't look as good. He's better on the arena cross style track than this full-size Supercross track. Roxon, to nobody's surprise, did what Roxon should have done, came and beat a bunch of guys that he should have beat. But Joey Savacci, I don't know what it is with Joey Savacci. I'm a huge Joey Savacci fan. But, gosh, whenever the title's on the line, there is not a guy who looks... If you're tight in the points going into the final round, there's not a lot of guys I'd rather choose to not have than Joey Savacci. Even his body language, everything going into the weekend, it was almost, he looked defeated before it even happened. He's talking about how, the pressure's not on me. Well, you got the red plate and a 5-point lead. You got yourself a chance. I mean, you give Vince Friese a sniff of the chance and he'll take on the world. I would like to see more of that out of Savatgy because he's so talented. The only one in the room that doesn't know it is Savatgy. I think he should have rode harder. He should have taken more attempts. He should have roughed up Ken. But that's just Joey. I don't know. Maybe he's got PTSD from when Zach Osborne blasted him for the championship and he just never recovered. I don't know what it was. But he's a super talented rider. But there's nobody I would not want to have on my team when the championship's on the line. I would like, you give me 20 guys that race Supercross and get them, a championship lead at the very end, last race. I'm going to pick Savatgy probably 20th to go to win that championship. He just can't close the deal for some reason. And I get it. He still was up against it with Ken Roczen because Ken Roczen is so much better than everybody. I mean, he's just a talent. But still, he just didn't look like a guy who rode his ass off and really put it on the line to me. He didn't look like Vince Friese did last year. He wasn't willing to pay another rider to take somebody out. And I don't mean that that's a good way. I mean, willing to do whatever it takes to win. Maybe he's worried about just staying healthy for his Triumph deal. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I think Savatgy needs to get some sort of a mental coach, or if he wants to win a championship before his career's over, you got to change that outlook and you got to be willing to go into that last round. Like MMA fighters say, the guy who's willing to go into that cage, the guy who's willing to do anything, who's willing to die in that cage usually wins. Vince Friese goes into that track ready to die, and Savatgy just didn't. He didn't go out there. He looks like a guy who's got other things in life and he's not as concerned. That's just what I saw, but I love him. He's super talented and good on him for getting second. Dean Wilson closed out the Australian Championship on Friday night. Looked a little tired on Saturday night, but these short races don't really suit Dean, but I'm nice to see Dean get back up to speed. So anyway, guys, that's it for World Supercross. Great job to all the guys, Oldenburg, Thompson, all these guys that surprised Greg Aranda, your champions, Max Anstey, Ken Roczen. I mean, if you didn't watch this event, you missed out. This was absolutely awesome. So